So, you've heard about floating fly fishing? Or you're interested in floating fly fishing? Well, today we're going to talk about how to tie our traditional duck feather floating fly. So, y'all hang tight. I'm Rodney, the Fishing, and let's get started. Alright, to get started here, we've just got a 16th ounce jig head that we've made with a Do It walleye jig. Now, we cut the collar off of this thing. Well, we used a RTV silicone here and just filled that cavity in, and then we molded the jig with the hook so we wouldn't have a collar on it. So we've got a 16th ounce jig. It's got a number 2 owner 5318 hook in it, and we powder painted that with some alewife powder paint and stuck some eyeballs on it, and we're ready to start tying. So to start tying with, we've got this mallard flank here in natural, and we've also got some mallard flank that's been dyed olive, and we're going to put that on the back of our jig. And then for the belly, we're just going to take some of this chartreuse bucktail here, and we're just going to take a few strands of it and tie that into the belly. And then to give it just a little bit of flash, we've got some of this flash boo here. All right, here we go. We got some thread on our bobbin. We've got our jig in the vise. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to take this thread and we're just going to lay some down to really to give it something to bite to, because it's just a bare hook. So we're just going to put some thread down, and then we're just going to snip that stuff off. So the first thing we have here is this duck feather fly, or duck feather, and it's just a mallard flank, and that's the way they come. So we're going to figure out about on here how much of this thing we want, and then we're just going to put our finger on it like that, and then we're just going to take our scissors and snip that thing off. Now we're probably going to have a few extra feathers coming off of that thing, but once we've got it, you can kind of see the shape of that thing. We're just going to take that thing, and you can see it's kind of it's got this little curve in it, and we want this curve to go to the inside of our jig. We're going to lay that thing on there. And we're going to put it on the side. And we're just going to give that thing a couple of wraps and kind of move it into place like we want it to go. Like so. And then we're just going to do the same thing with our other feather. We're going to take that and figure about how long we want it. Snip that thing off of there. Take all that extra out. And then we've got our little curve to it. We're going to place it right on the side there. And hopefully get that thing to... Alright, sometimes these feathers get to be difficult, and you just want to snip a few off of it. So you've got a little point there to work with. Alright? If you're having issues with it, just do that to it. And then that will help you to get that thing tie it on there the way it is. Now, you could take this fly just like this and fish it and catch fish, and I've done that a lot. But we're going to dress it up just a little bit. We're going to give it a little bit of a dark back with this olive feather here. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to take a little bit of this feather here and clip it off. We're just going to snip a few there on the sides. So we just get that little point on there. All right, so we've got our little olive feather here ready to be tied onto the back, just to give our fly a little darkness in the back of it. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our fly, we're going to rotate it around, because this is where the hook point is actually where the back of the fly is. So we're just going to lay that thing on there. Until you get that thing to laying on there like you like it. So give it a couple good wraps when you get it the way you want it. And now that we got the back on, we're going to rotate our fly back around so we can work on the back. And we're going to take our chartreuse bucktail here, and we're just going to pick a few fibers out, and we don't need very many. Just want to put a little bit of color in that thing. All right, so there we got our little bit of chartreuse we're going to put on there. I'm just going to lay that down there too. And we're just going to give it a little light wrap, and then once we get it to where we want it, we're just going to put a few wraps on it to hold it in place. Again, you could take this fly right like this and fish it, no problem. We're going to take our flash boom and we're going to pull one strand of that out. And I don't know if we'll use all of it or not, but we're just going to start layering this flash boom in here. Just take it and give it a wrap on one side, or at least this is what I do. And then just take it and lay it back. And then just keep working it back and forth. Just put a light wrap on it where you want it. Like so. Put a little bit back here on the back side. And that's going to be it. And then we're just going to give it a couple of good turns on everything. And I think our duck feather fly is going to be done. So here we are. We're ready to finish our fly off with a knot. And you could use a whip finish or whatever your favorite knot is. But this little knot right here, where I just take a piece of fishing line and we're just going to lay that fishing line on the top there, and then we're just going to give this about 10 to 20 wraps, just really whatever feels right. And I've never had this knot come undone. You don't have to glue it or any of that other stuff unless you just want to. But once you cut your string, put your fingers through your loop there that you have. Grab onto your string. And then grab onto your other end there. Just hold your head there. Pull that string through, just like so. And you've got a pretty good knot on your fly. And just take your scissors and cut it off. And there we go. So here we are. We've got our floating fly jig. It's pretty much done. Just remember that we doubled over these this flashaboo stuff here. And you just want to take your scissors and cut all that stuff loose. And then when you get done, I don't like all this tailing out here on it. I just want the color up here on the bottom of it. So I'm just going to take this thing, gather all this stuff up here in my hand, hair and flashaboo and all that. And I'm just going to find the hook where the bend of the hook is and just hold that like that, and then just give that a little snip like that. That way we just got a little bit of color in the back of it. So anyways, there's your classic floating fly jig. It'll catch fish under that float. Catch them smallmouth. Anyways, I'm Rodney, Lead Fishing. If y'all pick something up, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you all out on the lake next time. We're out.